viewers, subscribers, and friends, welcome to my channel. Is this a flower I see over here? Yeah, it is. Look at that. I saw some saguaros with blooms on them already. You guys see that flower? Wow, the bees are out like crazy right now. I'm not used to seeing flowers so early already. Yeah, this thing is loaded with flowers. Well, just like the title says, the dangers of hiking in the Arizona desert. You see somebody like a tourist or something would come out here in the desert to hike, and they would see these flowers and they would just walk right up to this cactus right here, not even paying attention to if there's any snakes sitting inside there, and that's how they get bit, because they get too close to the cactus. But haven't been hiking out here in a while. This is why I don't wash my car every day. Look at this. Just driving down these dirt roads. It's all filthy now. Let's go take a little walk, see if we can see any more flowers. Somebody left the water out here for the animals. That's a cactus wren making that noise. So this is the time of the year where the snakes are out like crazy. I'm seeing them in my yard. This track right here, you can see this track here. That's a snake track. See that? Look at that. How long it is. It goes all the way. It's like S patterns. That's a small snake. Don't know what kind of snake, but it keeps going and going and going and going. That's not a lizard track. Lizards, they leave tracks like this also, but they have little feet prints on the both sides of the tail line. When they drag their tail, there's no footprint marks there. So, yeah, there's an unusual amount of snakes that are out in the desert this time of year, and unfortunately, this is the time of year where all the tourists are coming out too. I don't watch the news or even watch TV, but my wife's always telling me somebody else got bit by a rattlesnake. So be careful, you know, if you're watching this and you live in Arizona, or if you're coming to Arizona, be careful where you're putting your feet. You know, you see a beautiful cactus or something like that, don't walk up to it unless you check your vicinity where you walk. Like, see this right there? If I would have just kept walking because I wanted to see this spider web, I would have kicked that, and that would have been painful. It's a giant spider web right there. It's another thing. The spiders are coming out. The scorpions. I killed a couple scorpions by my trash cans the last couple of days. So, I mean, it is dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, I've been hiking not only just in the desert but everywhere for such a long time. I know how to keep my eyes open. I'm starting to see a lot more saguaros like this right here. Starting to bloom. Those are the flower buds. They're not warts. They're flower buds. So this is the time of the year that I stick to wider trails like this, because we've gotten an unusual amount of rain. We usually don't get rain till like monsoon season, and the desert has been coming alive like crazy. Like, see that right there? Those little pincushion cactuses. And then these prickly pears got all the buds coming out on top here. Soon they're going to be having their fruits. The birds will be eating them. So this time of the year, when you walk in the desert, you got to make sure you have your walking stick, and don't wear earbuds and don't listen to music, because I've known how many times I've turned around and seen wildlife behind me. I even had a coyote come up to me about 3 feet behind me in this freaking area, like way over, when I was hiking over in that area, way over there. I heard something coming up behind me, turn around, and sure enough, there was a big coyote behind me. So you got to pay attention to your surroundings. Yes, this is a beautiful scenery, but you have to remember that this is the desert. This isn't my home. This is the wildlife's home. And I am coming into their yards. So pay attention. That, and you hear all them bees? Bees are out like crazy, huh? Look at that. Looks like an octopus. It's 70 degrees out right now. So when you come out in the desert, the things you have to, especially in the morning, like right now it's in the morning, this is when you usually see them, in the morning or the early evening. This time of the year I usually do my hiking in the middle of the afternoon when it's the hottest, when all the creepy crawlies, they go into hiding in this cactus here. And they're not going to be coming out from the side here to cross this trail to go over to, like, I don't know how many times I've been walking on a trail and I've seen the snakes start coming out. I stop and let him go by, and then he goes on his way. But there's another flower. More flowers. Beautiful flowers. And the ocotillos are looking awesome. Right there, the ocotillo between the saguaros. Budding. The desert is coming alive. Yeah, I don't even know how many times that I've seen tourist people, which I don't see a lot of tourist people out here in the wide open desert like this, but I see them more closer into town, taking more well-known trails, and I see them just run right up to a cactus like that and turn around and say, take a selfie, and not even paying attention to what could be inside of there, sitting inside of there. Look at this one. This one's got all kinds of little flowers on it too. I don't know what this one's called. See all them flowers? It smells incredible, this plant here, whatever this is. But see, there's another swirl right there budding. Those are all going to be flowers. That's cool when you see a saguaro just covered in flowers like that. The giants of the deserts. So I get a lot of people, they do ask me, aren't you scared of hiking in the deserts? No, I'm not scared, because I respect it and I know what to look for. My eyes are open and I'm paying attention to where I'm walking. Like snakes would like to live right in there. And the reason the snakes like to live in there is because the pack rats. The pack rats live in there, the prairie dogs. So the predator animals, they go in there and they wait for the prairie dogs or the pack rats to come out. Which way I want to take? So that's a narrow trail, and like I'm saying, there's a lot of snakes out. When I'm out hiking and walking, I want to go in with the bigger trails, so I don't feel like I'm going to be ambushed. There's another swirl with more flowers on it. Or buds, swirl buds. Well, let's take a closer look at this one. So I've already checked out the area, make sure it was clear to walk in here. Let's get an up-close view of these swirl buds. This is probably a 10-foot swirl right here. Let's see what this is really hard feeling. I thought it would be more spongy. That's going to be flowers though. Bees are like buzzing me. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. They're like flying around me. Now, hiking in this area here, I have seen a lot of, I've seen javelina out in this area, coyotes, and bobcats. I've never seen a snake out here, although I've seen evidence of snake trails. And I've run into people hiking out here, and they've told me, wow, there's a snake back there, be careful. But I have never, ever, ever seen a snake out here. Now, I don't know if you heard that. That was a huge lizard. They run so fast, And he went in right over there. He went down in there. There's probably a hole there. But he was shot at over here, jumped over this, went down in there. I don't know if the camera caught it, but those freaking lizards, they look just like snakes sometimes because they're so freaking long, man. They're good foot and a half long sometimes. And they just shoot right out in front of you. And the first thing you think of is snake because they look so much like a snake. But I see more snakes in the parks and the bike paths than anywhere. And it's funny because my wife tells me that somebody got bit by a snake. And it's not funny they got bit by a snake. What's funny is they're in the middle of Tucson, in the city. So people living in the city, their guard is not up. They let their guard down, and they're not even thinking or paying attention to wildlife that's coming into their homes in these subdivisions. And it's crazy because you go in the city, you're not expecting to see any kind of wildlife like snakes or coyotes or anything like that, but that's all I ever hear and see from my wife who watches the news is people capturing these wildlife in the city. It's like, that's probably why I don't see them out here in the freaking desert, because they're all going to town. That's where all the food is, and the humans who throw the foods in the garbage. Let's see, that one's covered with flowers. Let's go look at there. They're not completely opened up. But the other dangers of, there's a bee right on that one. It's not just the snakes and coyotes and scorpions, it's these bees. There's a bee, he just landed right on my hand as I'm filming this. Hear him buzzing? Yes, you gotta watch where you put your feet. These things right here will ruin your day. These cholla cactuses here. You kick that and then it gets stuck in the side of your foot. Oh, this bee really loves me. It's sitting right on my wrist. I don't have any cologne on, so I don't know why they're buzzing me. Oh, good, he flew away. Yeah, don't ever swat at a bee if it lands on you. Just let him be, and as long as he doesn't feel intimidated or threatened, he won't do anything to you. That's another thing that you got to learn when you're out hiking in the desert, is because there are big cats out here. There are mountain lions or cougars, whatever you want to call them. They're out here. They're hiding, and probably more up in the higher areas up there. But if you see them and you take off running, when you run to a mountain lion's perspective, you are food, because once you run from the wildlife, you stimulate their predator skills, and they're just like, ooh, prey, it's running, go, and it runs after you. You have to stand your ground, especially at coyotes. I get so many coyotes come close to me that when they see me and I see them, I just walk towards them and then they take off running. You know. But you do have to understand, you have to realize that this is a wildlife area. So don't be shocked and don't be scared and don't take off running. I'm trying to find a trail that goes back to my car. To pay attention to every movement out here in the desert. See that rabbit? He just ran through there. There was a roadrunner standing up on top of this, and he flew down over there. I got away before I could get my camera turned on. Been seeing a lot. I saw one of them roadrunners in my driveway the other day. I love looking at the roadrunners. Hear that bird? I don't see him, but I hear him. I don't know what kind of bird that is though, making that noise. My sister was telling me, is there an animal that can make a sound like a cat that lives in the desert? I said, yeah. She's like, what? I said, a cat. No, but there's quails that when they cry out, they can sound like cats sometimes. Let's look at this ocotillo flower. Let's get out of the sun. Now these feel like latex. It's not. It doesn't have any green leaves on it anywhere, but it's sprouting these flowers. Now this is what I'm talking about. When you see tourists come out here, they're listening. You know, they got their headphones on, and they don't have a walking stick, and they're not paying attention to their surroundings, and they just walk right up to this flower. And they don't know there could be all kinds of dangerous stuff inside of there. Like, look at this right here. There's a gigantic freaking spider web right there. Funnel spider. Yeah. And the bees are flying around my head. You know, you get these tourists and they start swatting at the bees, and then the bees start stinging them, and then they take off running. And I think bees are like dogs. I think bees can sense fear, so they go after you. Look at that swirl. That's a lightning strike victim right there. Other dangers of hiking in the desert is heat stroke. A lot of people come out here and they get lost in these deserts because these trails go every other way, and they don't bring them enough water, and they get a heat stroke out here. And then once you get heat stroke, you can't think straight, you lose your direction, and you end up lost in the desert. I've never been lost in the desert. Never had heat stroke in the desert either, but you hear it all the time on the radio and the news, you know. And most of the time it's tourist, you know. It's like me. If I was to go somewhere where it was cold, like say I went up to Canada or something like that, I don't know anything about Canada. I don't know anything about the cold weather. You know, I probably wouldn't dress right. I'd probably drink too much water. Because I've seen some videos of people in Canada, like, you don't want to drink a lot of water when you're out hiking in the winter because you can freeze your lungs, you know. And unless I saw that video, I wouldn't have the slightest clue about hiking in the Canada snow. So I would definitely be out of my element up there. I always turn around and check. I don't care. I hear the slightest noise, I turn around and check. And that's why I have a metal stick too, because not only I can keep the distance of a snake if it comes out in front of me, away from me, I can hit it on rocks. This metal sounds. It's more scary than wood. And sometimes I just drag it like it's behind me when I'm walking. So if there's any wildlife trying to come up behind me, you know, this noisemaker here is going to keep them away from me. There's just little tips and tricks like that that I do when I'm out hiking by myself. And you should always hike in pairs, but I don't have anybody to hike with, and I've been doing it so many years by myself that I'm more comfortable hiking alone. Because when I'm hiking with somebody, I'm more worried for them, because I have met a lot of people through YouTube and they come out and meet up with me and want to go hiking. I have to watch where they're stepping. I have to watch where they're looking, because they'll see, oh, look at that flower now. Wait, hold on a minute, check for snakes. First, where you go up to anything, look for snakes. Because even if your eye is trained, believe me, I've seen snakes sitting in cactuses, just coiled up, look like a nest. And I've seen them in trees. And you could get bit in the face. You know, you have to train your eyes. Like, I'll point out that freaking pincushion cactus to somebody. They go, where? It's right there. You see it? And they go, where? I don't see it. See, even that cactus blends in with that creosote tree right there. And the snakes are even harder to see unless you've trained your eyes to see snakes. So, I mean, it's beautiful. The Arizona desert is beautiful. It's especially in springtime. You got all these flowers and all the wildlife coming out, and it's just, you have to respect, you have to understand that this is not your backyard, right? You're going into an area where there are multiple kinds of wildlife that can kill you out here. You know, you see a bobcat, you know, although sometimes I kid in my videos and I go, hey, kitty, 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 kitty. It's not my first rodeo. I've seen so many of them in the wild, and I know how to react when I see one. But like I say in many of my videos, I could walk right by one and never even see it. Because especially the cats, the big cats and the little cats, the bobcats, they're just like house cats. They're not going to give up their hiding spot unless they feel intimidated or threatened. Then they'll run. But I would say 8 times out of 10 they'll run from you. I've never heard of anybody getting attacked by a mountain lion or bobcat here in Arizona. I'm sure there's somebody out there that will find a story, but I have never seen or heard any stories myself. Look at that Ocotillo, there's just all kinds of blooms on it. It's beautiful, but it is dangerous. I'm not even going to kid about that. It is dangerous being in the desert. Look at this one. Let's go look at this one. Here's the thing too, although I have looked all around this area for not only cactus but snakes or scorpions and stuff like that, and spiders, you'll have to realize, even though you looked and made sure the coast is clear, you have to look again as you walk back out, because there have been times when when I walked through this area here and I looked, and not out here in this area but in town, when I go to look at flowers and stuff and turn around to walk back, there's like a snake, because a snake could be coming over there while I'm coming over here. Although I don't see any snakes here, he's coming that way, and as I go back, oh, we meet up, we cross paths. So you always have to check going in and always check going out. And like I said, that's happened to me many times in the bike paths in Tucson, where I've been walking like this and I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, look, there's a flower over there, and I'll turn around and go back like this, and then be like a snake going across the bike path. I'm like, wow, he wasn't there when I walked by. So not only snakes, but scorpions, millipedes, Gila monsters. Although I've only seen one Gila monster out on a hike back when I was like 16 years old. Don't ever see them out in the desert anymore. Yeah, even there's big snakes, there's little snakes. They like to hide under stuff like this. This is a cholla cactus. This stuff burns really good, man. There's a piece of metal there. Oh, I heard a horse. Did you guys hear that? I hope the camera picked it up. I heard a horse, but the problem is you hear noise and you think it sounds like it comes from over there, but it could come from over there. It can be from over there. I don't see it anywhere. It sounded like it was really close to me. I talk to people all the time when I see them on horseback. I don't have it on camera, but I talk to people and then they tell me, oh yeah, my horse got bit by a snake the other day. I'm like, really? Wow. I thought, snakes would kill a horse. And no, I give them penicillin. I don't see them, but I definitely heard a horse. So if you're thinking about coming to Arizona, the best time I would suggest, if you want to come and you don't have to worry about this kind of stuff, is come out in the fall. The fall or early winter times. Then you don't have to worry about any of that stuff, because everything goes into hibernation. But if you want to come out in the spring and see these flowers, just keep that in mind. Don't come out here listening to your headphones or texting and hiking, because you're just asking for trouble. It's like a rose. Rose is beautiful, right? You go to pick a rose and you get stuck with a thorn. What's that song? Every rose has a thorn. Who sings that song? Can't think of the people that sing it, but the group Poison, I think it is. Yeah, that's who sings it, Poison. I'm headed back to my car. I don't do as long as hikes anymore as I usually used to do because, one, I'm not trying to lose weight anymore. I can't see any freaking wildlife out here other than that rabbit and big freaking lizard. See, I got my little fanny pack here so I could carry 2 drinks and then whatever snacks in here. I use that for summertime. Another thing that you got to think about too is you've been out hiking for a couple hours and you come back to your car. You have to look around underneath your car because I was last week I was hiking over at the bike path and the guy told me, I was walking back and he's like, is that your car at the end of the bike path? I said, yeah. He said, be careful, man. I saw a little baby rattlesnake go underneath your car. And what happens, they'll go under there, sometimes they'll sit by the tire or they'll go up into the engine thing like that, and as soon as you start it, they'll drop down into a haul butt. But just be careful when you walk up to your car because, you know, they could be sitting right underneath there where you go to get into your car. You know, just be careful out there. I think I'm going to end the video here. And I want to thank everybody for supporting my channel. All the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you to all the people who watch the videos from the beginning to the end. Thank you for all your comments, your interactions. I'm almost up to 15,000 subscribers, and that was my goal. At the end of last year, I set a goal for this year. It's like I'd like to hit 15,000 subscribers, and I think I only need like maybe less than 200 to get 15,000. And it's so early in the year too. So I'm so appreciative to all the people who subscribe to me, who comment in my videos, who talk to me on direct messaging and sending me emails. I read every single comment, email, and direct message, so thank you to everybody. I really, really appreciate it. And if you like these kind of videos about learning about the desert or, you know, learning about Tucson, because Tucson is a beautiful town. I love Tucson. You know, it's a cheap place to live. It's not very busy. It's a freaking huge plane. I'm trying to make a video. There you go. Let me focus on it. Anyways, if you like these kind of videos, give me a thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button. It don't cost you anything. It's free. And remember, be kind to people. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat them with kindness. And thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. That's a quail making that noise. I'm gone! Oh! I'm gone!